Which of the following correctly identifies Massachusetts on the maps above? A, 2, B, 4, C, 6, D, 8. Pause the video for time to answer number 1. Question number 2. Which of the following correctly identifies France on the maps above? F7, G9, H11, J12. That's the end of question number 2. Pause if you need time to complete your answer. Question number 3. Use the excerpt below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 3. Article 3. Religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary to good government and the happiness of mankind, schools, and the means of education shall forever be encouraged. Article 5. There shall be formed in the territory not less than 3 nor more than 5 states, and the boundaries of the states shall become fixed and established as follows. The western state in the said territory shall be bounded by the Mississippi, the Ohio, and Wabash rivers. Article 6. There shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude in the said territory. Here is the question. 3. Which major success of the Articles of Confederation is described in the excerpt above? A. The passage of the Northwest Ordinance. B. The elimination of slavery from the United States. C. The formation of first representative government. D. America gaining its independence from Great Britain. Pause the video for time to answer question number 3. Question number 4. The Anti-Federalists' biggest argument against ratification of the Constitution was that F. It took too much power away from the federal government and gave too much power to the state governments. G. Representatives in Congress were more likely to come from higher social classes and wouldn't adequately represent all of the citizens. H. The United States was too large to be effectively governed by a central government instead of state governments. J. It lacked a Bill of Rights to clearly outline the rights of people that the government had to protect. Give yourself time and pause the video to answer question number 4. Question number 5. This quote from the Federalist paper refers to the need for, in framing a government which is to be administered by men over other men, the great difficulty lies in this. You must first allow the government to control the people, and in the next place, make sure the government controls itself. H. This quote from the Federalist Papers refers to the need for A. Strong federal government. B. Equal representation in Congress. C. An independent military. D. A centralized capital. Pause the video to give yourself time to answer question number 5. Question number 6. Use the excerpt below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 6. Speaker A. States must be represented in the national government only on the basis of population. It is indeed the only fair situation. Speaker B. The national legislature must be based on the equal representation of the states to protect the interests of the small states. Speaker C. The National Congress should consist of 2 houses, one in which representation is based on population and one in which states are equally represented. Which of the following accurately identifies what speakers A, B, and C are each describing? Pause the video to answer question 6. Read each speaker and determine which of the following accurately identifies what they were describing. Pause the video to complete the question. Number 7. Which of the following were weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation for the United States? 1. The United States could not pay off its debt from the American Revolution. 2. The federal government could not solve disputes between states over foreign trade. 3. The federal government could not effectively put down rebellions of the people. 4. The federal government could not declare war against any country who might invade. A. 2 and 4 only. B. 3 only. C. 1 and 2 only. D. 1, 2, and 3 only. Pause the question. Pause the video to answer question 7. Question number 8. Use the diagram below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 8. Due process of law. First box. Guarantee of a speedy trial. Second box. Freedom from unreasonable search and seizure. Third box is empty. Which of the following best completes that diagram? F. The right to bear arms. G. Freedom to speak without fear or punishment. H. Protection from cruel and unusual punishment. J. Freedom of the press to report on court proceedings. Which of the following best completes the diagram? The title of the diagram is Due Process of Law. Number 9. When citizens report for jury duty, they are helping uphold a constitutional right guaranteed by the A. First Amendment. B. Second Amendment. C. Sixth Amendment. D. Ninth Amendment. Pause the video to answer question 9. Question number 10. Use the excerpt below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. 10th Amendment, U.S. Constitution. Question 10. Which principle of the U.S. government is most clearly reflected in the amendment above? F. Checks and balances. G. Federalism. H. Separation of powers. J. Due process. Pause the video to answer question 10. Question 11. A small church town has many choices for people who want to attend religious services, including 2 churches, a synagogue, a cathedral, a mosque, and a temple. These choices are protected by the note. A synagogue is a place of worship for Jews, a mosque is a place of worship for Muslims, and a temple is a place of worship for Buddhists. These choices are protected by the A. First Amendment, B. Third Amendment, C. Sixth Amendment, D. Eighth Amendment. Pause the video to answer question 11. Question number 12. Use the diagram below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 12. Congress passes a bill. The president vetoes the bill. Congress overrides the presidential veto. Which principle of the United States government is illustrated by the sequence shown above? F. Judicial review. G. Checks and balances. H. Popular sovereignty. J. Federalism. Pause the video to complete question number 12. Question 13. Use the excerpt below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 13. King George has refused his approval to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. Declaration of Independence, 1776. Which provision of the U.S. Constitution reflects this grievance? A. The President can appoint justices with the consent and advice of the Senate. B. Congress has the power to establish federal courts. C. The Commerce Clause allows Congress to regulate trade among the states. D. Congress can override a presidential veto with 2/3 majority votes in both houses. Pause the video to answer question number 13. Question number 14. Use the excerpt below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 14. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause. Fourth Amendment, U.S. Constitution. The constitutional amendment excerpt above protects people in the United States from F. Excessive fines for traffic violations. G. Imprisonment for life without a jury trial. H. Being excessively watched by the government. J. A forced draft by the armed forces. Pause the video to answer question 14. Question number 15. Use the excerpt below in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 15. The President shall have power with the advice and consent, approval, of the Senate to make treaties provided 2/3 of the senators present agree. U.S. Constitution, Article 2, Section 2. This excerpt provides one example of which constitutional principle? A. Federalism. B. Checks and balances. C. Popular sovereignty. D. Individual rights. Pause the video to answer question number 15. If Congress passed a law stating that people would be punished for speaking out against the federal government, which constitutional guarantee would this law violate? F. Freedom of assembly. G. The right to due process. H. Freedom of speech. J. The right to a jury trial. Pause the video to answer question number 16. Question 17. The idea that individuals can exercise popular sovereignty by voting for the people who will represent them in government is known as A. Checks and balances. B. Republicanism. C. Federalism. D. Individual rights. Pause the video to answer question number 17. This is the end of the multiple choice version, the multiple choice questions in the Unit 3 exam. Please take a minute to double check all of your questions and ensure you are confident in the final choices that you have chosen.